don't really understand what y'all are.
We're just here because someone called and we're very concerned. Okay.
This is really highly offensive to me.
I got it. I got you. And that's why I'm trying to figure it out.
It's my vibrator, but I just put it in my... I was sitting on the beach, and I just... Okay, do I get a ticket?
So you did have a vibrator.
Listen, I was sitting on the water like this, and I just put it in there, and it was covered up, and I just had an orgasm. I'm sorry, I was stressed out.
I got you. Okay, just hang tight for me.
I'm sorry, nobody saw me. Man, please, don't do this to me. Are you serious?
On July 1st, 2021, around 5:30 in the afternoon, Sarah Moss was walking along the beach of Tybee Island, Georgia, with her husband and 2 children. Suddenly, they stumbled across an embarrassing scene. Close by, a woman was sitting in shallow water, writhing and moaning. According to Sarah, her behavior was not flagrant or conspicuous, but she wasn't being discreet either. Sarah called the police. The police arrived and spoke to Sarah. She showed them a video she had taken of the incident and reported that it had lasted about 5 minutes. When the woman had realized people were nearby, she stopped what she was doing, packed up her things, and retreated to a nearby beach restaurant. That woman was 34-year-old Christina Revels-Glick. Minutes later, the police found Christina sitting with 2 friends. They approached her discreetly and asked if they could speak to her privately.
How you doing, ma'am? Officer Dollar with IUP. Can we speak to you for a second? We'll get you over there. Fine. Go ahead and bring your stuff.
Yeah, can I ask what the problem is?
Alright, so someone called us. We got multiple calls about you. About something pertaining on the beach.
Yes.
Were you doing something you weren't supposed to be doing?
What?
Like, what were you doing on the beach? Like, prior to coming here? Prior to coming here.
There was nobody. I was just sitting on my towel. Nobody was around me.
Okay, and you were over at the beach?
Like I was near the water.
Near the water?
Yeah.
Okay.
What did I do? What did I do?
So apparently you were masturbating on the beach.
Who saw that?
I mean, a couple people.
No, they didn't. That's not true.
Well, why would they call us
that? Nobody was around. Was it an anonymous call? Is this one of my buddies? Okay,
no,
one of my buddies.
No, it's not one of your buddies. It's a family.
Okay, look, let me show you what I did.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there anything in the bag?
No.
Is it alright if I look through it? I mean, if you can open it and can I see the contents inside the bag?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't really understand what y'all are.
We're just here because someone called and we're very concerned. Okay.
This is really highly offensive to me.
I got it. I got you. And that's why I'm trying to figure it out.
It's my vibrator, but I just put it in my... I was sitting on the beach, and I just... Okay, do I get a ticket?
So you did have a vibrator.
Listen, I was sitting on the water like this, and I just put it in there, and it was covered up, and I just had an orgasm. I'm sorry, I was stressed out.
I got you. Okay, just hang tight for me.
I'm sorry, nobody saw me. I was in the water. Okay, so if this is anonymous,
I mean, if nobody saw it, then they wouldn't have called, right?
Nobody saw it.
Man, please, don't do this to me. Are you serious?
Put your other hand.
A family saw it. They had kids.
What? There was nobody around me.
So,
Christina was arrested, but was soon released when she posted bail. However, the beach arrest video was uploaded to the internet that week and garnered more than 2 million views in the first 3 days. According to the law in the state of Georgia, indecent exposure takes place when an individual intentionally exposes their private parts or causes discomfort to third parties by performing intimate acts in an inappropriate environment. This type of crime is considered a misdemeanor and can carry a prison sentence of up to 12 months. Perhaps you are wondering why this incident is being covered here on this channel. Well, it wouldn't be if there wasn't at least some mystery to be uncovered. Christina never appeared in court for her trial hearing because she was found dead in her apartment 8 months later. There are two significant details about this story to consider. Firstly, her body was not discovered until 30 days after her official time of death. And secondly, despite the death certificate stating that the cause of death was suicide, her neighbours believe that she was actually murdered. Christina Ashley Revels-Glick was born on October 4th, 1986. She was a divorced mother with 2 children. She had a 19-year-old son from a former relationship with her teenage boyfriend and a 14-year-old son from a marriage that had ended just 6 months after this child was born in 2008. Her divorce was only finalized in 2015. Christina had worked as a real estate broker for some time, and according to friends and family, she enjoyed life. She drove a BMW, lived in a beautiful house, but was always considered to have an adventurous spirit. They described her as being wild. She loved partying, always making new friends, but unfortunately at a certain point in her life she met some not-so-nice people. Christina started drinking too much and taking drugs. Court records show that she had numerous civil cases taken against her, including claims for unpaid rent, property damage, and suspected theft of property from homes she had shown to clients. She was arrested more than once for driving under the influence and was a suspect in a car theft case in 2018. As her problems escalated, her children left to live with their fathers. This appears to be the story of a woman who upended her once normal life and suffered the consequences of bad life choices. In July 2021, the beach incident happened, and she was shamed by the arrest video which was available online. She grew increasingly isolated and retreated from public view. On March 19th, 2022, Felicity Rollins, the owner of the property where Christina lived, tried to contact her to collect rent payment. But for nearly 2 weeks, Christina's phone was turned off. While she had only recently moved in, Christina had never been late with a payment. Intending to not let the situation snowball, Felicity decided to go there in person on the 30th of that month. Her friend Gareth drove her and her boyfriend to the house. At the property, Christina was still not answering her phone. But Felicity and her boyfriend believed that she must be inside because her car was in the driveway. They entered the building and found Christina's body in the hallway, near the bathroom. In shock and desperation, they called for Gareth. He came in and saw the whole scene. In all the reports about the case, the only person interviewed about this moment was Gareth. Felicity and her boyfriend were so traumatized that they would not talk to the press, only the police. One source says that Felicity even put the house up for sale soon after. According to the coroner's report, Christina had been dead for about 30 days, although it was not possible to determine the exact date. The cause of death was a gunshot wound to the head. The bullet had entered at the lower part of the chin and exited through the forehead. Some may consider it strange that in those 30 days, no one had reported any strange smell in the area. Neighbours who did notice a smell thought it was due to the build-up of trash in the neighbourhood. Also, the doors and windows of houses in the area were well insulated to maintain their internal temperature during the cold seasons. So the house was completely sealed off, and this contained the unpalatable odour. But was this a homicide or a suicide? This was what the police were supposed to find out. There was a large amount of blood in the bedroom, bathroom, and in the hallway where Christina was found. In the master bedroom, there was a gun on the bed and a hole in the ceiling directly above. According to Police Commander of Hinesville Police Department's Criminal Investigations Divisions, William Oberlander, there was nothing to indicate that she had been the victim of a crime. They found no indication that anyone else had been in the apartment. There was no sign of forced entry. Her valuables were all there, including her cell phone, notebook and wallet, and the doors and windows were all locked. But the downstairs neighbour, Jonathan Johnson, to whom the police never talked, told dailymail.com that he and his wife had heard a commotion in Christina's apartment about a month before the discovery of her body. Jonathan reported that numerous men entered and left the place. He made it clear that he did not want to judge the victim, but this information suggested that if a third person was involved, there would be a lot of suspects. He also understood that Christina appeared to have a steady boyfriend or client, because he had observed the same car parked in the drive on more than 5 separate occasions in the previous weeks. It was that same car that was there about a month before she was found. He remembered hearing fights that night and a heated discourse, but he couldn't hear their words properly. It was all a bit muffled. As I said, the houses in the area were well insulated. He says he didn't hear any gunshots, but perhaps it could have happened in the early hours of the morning when he was asleep. Strangely, the car that was parked there that night was no longer there the next morning, and it was never seen again either. The driver of this car could have killed her, but perhaps not. Maybe he left after they fought, and Christina committed suicide alone. But who was this man? Why didn't the police follow up and better investigate this lead? Commander Oberlander emphasized that the police version of the story corresponded closely to the evidence. He believed that if someone had killed her, then that person would have at least shot her a second time to make sure that she was dead. Also, he did not believe that someone could have left, then locked up the property, somehow leaving the key inside. What they could not ascertain was whether she had done it on purpose or if it was an accident. For Commander Oberlander, this was the only unanswered question in the case. Do you know how greater clarity could have been brought to this case if the police had checked the gun for fingerprints, but they did not? If they had tried to find out if there was more than one copy of the front door key, something they neglected to ask the owner. If they had looked for this supposed client boyfriend, or if they had at least looked for an answer to the only question they themselves had doubts about. Was it intentional or accidental? The police were confident that there had been no one else present in the property. They were supported in this regard by the victim's family, who had accepted the verdict of suicide and decided to close the case. The video of Christina's arrest provoked varied reactions from viewers. Some criticized the police for making the arrest over an issue that they considered to be unimportant, while others condemned the people who called 911 to report her. Family members noted that Christina had been struggling with depression and other health issues, and that the fallout after the beach incident likely impacted her mental health. While what she did on the beach was wrong, some may consider it to be insignificant, but before the law it was wrong. She was arrested for indecent exposure, and the subsequent negative social media comments defaming Christina most likely contributed to the final outcome. The circumstances surrounding her arrest and subsequent death serve as a reminder of the complexities that individuals face privately. This highlights how overwhelming public opinion can profoundly affect a person's well-being. Christina Glick was cremated after a small funeral in her hometown. Few people showed up. Neither her ex-husband nor her 2 children attended. This absence of loved ones was further confirmation for the police of their version of events. Christina had experienced many difficulties throughout her life. She had accumulated sadness and made choices that brought her only loneliness. What do you think happened to Christina Glick? Leave your opinion here in the comments, and we'll see you in the next case.